Sal looking rather serious there. Yes, we're back to password. Sorry, a bit of a gap in these ones. I'd planned to do Tyson's route actually a couple of weeks ago, but stuff happened and password just was not a good VN for me to be playing through at that point. So just a quick break, but I'm doing better now and it's time to get back into this. Let's just start out with Tyson's Day 10. So this is Dave and Ty sleeping the night before, Day 10. I don't know how long I was asleep for, or how quickly I fell asleep once I was conscious of it. When I opened my eyes, I lay there for a few moments, my body feeling like it was underwater. Like most mornings, I was on autopilot, swinging my legs out to the side of my bed and stretching. Coffee. I liked my room. It was on the top floor of our house, like an attic of sorts, but also had a bathroom and a small study nook. The whole floor was basically mine, as small as it was. Mum and Dad had downstairs, but that's where the living room, kitchen and other rooms were, obviously. I was halfway down the stairs where I could smell it, or at least I thought I could smell it, that smoky scent that came with freshly made bacon. Reminded me I was hungry, as much as I felt a little guilty about eating bacon while also being friends with Roswell, and if there's only one other person in the house that'd be cooking at this time of morning. As I hit the bottom of the stairs, I became acutely aware of something wrong though. Something very wrong. Looking towards the kitchen, I gulped, almost scared of who I'd find on the other side of the doorway. I wandered closer, closing my eyes, bracing myself on the doorway. The closer I got, a chill ran down my spine and I could recognize the familiar, cheery humming. The humming stopped, replaced instead with a low chuckle. As I opened my eyes, there he was, standing in front of the stove as if nothing was wrong. "Oh, what's wrong, sport? You look like you've seen a ghost." He laughed. He was laughing, and all I could do was stand there watching in shock. If my feet didn't suddenly feel weighed down with an anchor, I'd have run. "Sleep all right? Breakfast is almost done. Take a seat and I'll serve you up." "Wait, no." "No? Well, that's a surprise." "Oh, coffee." "How can I forget? Like father, like son, right? Give me a sec and I'll sort you out." "No, not that. Dad, You what? Have a bad dream?" I found myself drawn to the table, and the next thing I knew I was sitting down looking at my dad as he continued to work in the kitchen. "No, not a bad dream, I think." "Well, what's got you down, little bean? Sore feet? Toothache? Have a fight with your boyfriend?" Wait, I don't have a boyfriend." "No? Huh? Could have fooled me." He wandered over, setting down a mug in front of me, the darkest roasted coffee you could imagine. "You still look half asleep. Drink up." I reached out for the mug and found it warm, but I frowned all the same. I needed answers. This was so confusing. "Dad." "Oh, yes, son?" "What day is it today?" "I don't really know. Why?" I shook my head, opting instead for another approach. "What about the date?" "I don't know that either. Would you believe I forgot to charge my phone? Mom's already left for work though, so it's just us today." "No, that's not..." He doubled back to the side of the kitchen, bringing over a plate of scrambled eggs and bacon. Sitting next to me, he handed me the plate and I watched him take the first mouthful. It was less a plate and more like a shared platter of food with how much he made, but Dad was always a fan of big breakfasts. "Dad." "Yes?" "What's your name?" "Oh, my name? You know my name, sport." He wiped his mouth with his arm, gesturing me with a fork. "What's your name then? You should know mine already, given it's the same, bud." I grumbled, folding my arms. "That's not what I meant." "What's the matter, Dave? Normally we're fighting over the bacon by now. You haven't even had a banana or touched your coffee, so something's up." I whined, not wanting to bring it up. "You're real, right? Like, you're actually here, right?" "Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?" "Someone looks like he's needed some fatherly advice, though. And some breakfast, so eat up while I impart upon you some wisdom." I kept my eyes on him as I reached for a banana. I didn't make a move beyond that, still feeling the whole ordeal surreal given how real this all felt. What do you do when life gives you lemons, Dave? Well, you could make lemonade if they're too sour. I know a few guys who just eat them as is. Embrace what makes them different is all. I don't... No? Not relevant here? What about the one about the birds and the bees? Oh, all things considered, I don't think I need to worry about you fretting over where babies come from, do I? I chuckled as he did as a flinch reaction, fighting it off and trying to remain composed. No, Dad. I just want to know one thing, and you have to be honest, okay? Please? Of course, and anything for you. What's up? I think I'm in trouble. Well, that's not good. What can I do to help? I don't think you can anymore, because you're dead, right? He just looked at me and flinched as I asked. He just grabbed a strip of bacon and flicked me on the nose with it before speaking. Oh, that's not very nice. Besides, I'm plenty helpful. Reckon I could help regardless of where I am. So what's got you down? Why are you in trouble? I gulped, whining. Dad, I just have this feeling I'm going to let someone down, and they're going to die because of me. Well, that doesn't sound good. What should I do? Well, that's quite the pickle. If it's that serious, I don't think there's really anything you can do. But what if they die? Well, everyone dies, son. But if you do your best, I don't think anyone can be mad. I know I wouldn't be. But Dad, oh no but sport, just do your best. He got up from his chair and wandered over to the kitchen, stopping in front of the coffee pot to pour himself another mug. Now, anything else I can help you with? But maybe make it less heavy if you can, at least until after you've eaten something. Can I have a hug? Is that all? Of course, son. Just a sec. I watched, shaking as he got closer. I closed my eyes, scared of if I was going to feel anything when he reached me. Part of me wanted that familiar touch, or an equal part was worried as to what it'd mean if I felt it at all. His steps got closer, the sound of his footfalls on tile getting louder and louder. Then they stopped. Everything stopped. And when I opened my eyes, I was right where I fell asleep. Ty still had me cuddled to his chest, though he'd moved to grind more against my rear with his morning wood. For all I knew, he was still asleep. For a split second, I considered it. I considered just letting him, anything to replace the feeling in my gut now that I was awake. I stretched how I could, Tyson yawning over my shoulder and stretching along with me. Seemed he was awake, if barely. His grip on me tightened. As he shifted his hips, he pushed himself under my tail, fabric being the only thing separating us. He mumbled something I didn't quite hear and he spoke again. Oh, one day. He gave me a squeeze again before settling back, his breath levelling out before snoring softly. I took the chance to pry myself free of him and get up. I looked around the room. I was still here. This mansion seemed like a great idea when we'd left home, but now just looking at the bedroom, I hated it. It was a reminder that I was now involved in something that I was only half sure even existed. Death, or the risk of it, was lingering over us. Apparently, if what Oswald was saying held any truth. Even then, there were the visions I was seeing whenever I touched a vault. Is enough to make me not want to touch the thing ever again. I swung my legs over the side of the bed and rubbed my neck. It was sore. Maybe I just slept funny, but that was hardly the only pain I was feeling this morning, given the dream I just had. I got dressed and made my way downstairs. It was early than what anyone really should be awake, but I couldn't sleep. Maybe it was before dawn, but I didn't really have the thought to check specifics. When I reached the bottom of the stairs, I yawned, stretching again as I contemplated making coffee and sitting in the dining room. Looking around, I wondered what the chances were of Benson being around that I could offload that chore onto him. After all, that's what butlers were for, right? Still, there was no telling if he was even awake. Even if he was, his duties were to be to Oswin first, right? Thinking it over again, the thought of coffee made my stomach churn. It wasn't Dad's coffee, and for whatever reason my mind had decided to play that trick on me. Having anything but his blend wouldn't be as fulfilling. Dave? I looked up, seeing Hoss frozen in place, staring at me as if caught off guard. My eyes darted down to the small black device in his hand, and the wire sticking out of it before he shoved it back into his pocket. Oh, you're up early? Yeah, why are you up too? What was that anyway? I gestured to his now bulging pocket with one hand while I rubbed my eyes with the other. Oh, nothing important, just something I had to, Oz scratched his chin while he looked me over, looking troubled. Just something I had to take care of. The look I was giving him must have clued him into the fact that I wasn't following, or at the very least wanted more information. Just something Benson asked me about. Oh, alright. You're not going to ask me what it was. It's too early. Besides, I get the feeling you're not going to be telling me anyway. Oh, better question. Why are you awake? I couldn't sleep. Okay, and the real reason? You seem like you just woke up and didn't want to stay in bed. Which, all things considered, I would have assumed you'd have wanted to stay in bed. Huh? Oh, didn't think I noticed you bunking up with someone? I felt my face go red. Not that it's any of my business, but I heard you're all about the cuddles. Well, yeah, but... why bail? Bad dream? Well, I could take your place if you're worried. I wasn't sure if he was making a joke to cheer me up or was at least a little serious. You're going to be alright? I don't know, maybe I'll go get some fresh air or something. I should be fine. You sure? I really don't. The next moment, Hoss yawned, covering his mouth and stretching his back. You sound like you need sleep. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Well, if you're sure. I'm sure, promise. Well, if you're certain, I'll see you in a few hours after I had myself a little catnap. Night. He was bounding up the stairs where I could get another word in. My eyes were trained on the pocket he concealed something in. I wondered what it could have been and what he'd been up to. The morning was crisp and fresh as I stood looking out to the horizon. Perhaps it was the mountain air that made everything seem so alive. I smirked at the irony. Alive. Why was it that it is only recently that the whole concept of mortality has been brought up again? Someone's messing with me, right? Sighing out, I ran my hands through my fur, thinking back to my dream. He says pretty sure it was just a dream. Losing Dad was hard enough and something I forced down on a daily basis. Something that just made it easier to cope. I missed him. Every day. But now was some cruel reality that had me facing my friends dying too. Not that I didn't have options. I could run away like a coward and let this be someone else's problem. But as Dad said, everyone dies eventually, right? Could I live with myself knowing I had a chance to do something and didn't? It was much the same as staying here and risking nothing bad happening. If talking to Oswald had meant anything and seeing things in the vault, the threat seemed real enough. Which only left one real option, and that was to face this head on. Like father, like son, huh? I smirked for a second, thinking about how I was unintentionally following in Dad's footsteps in some way. Maybe I'd make an alright detective if I could get my nerves under control. Hey. I looked behind me quickly, sighing out as Ty approached to stand next to me. Hey, Ty. You doing alright? When my reply didn't come right away, I felt him shuffle another step closer. Yeah, just deciding something. Deciding what? Just what I should be doing. Whether all this stuff is in my head or if I should be more proactive about it. What, the stuff with the thing downstairs? Right. What do I have to shake down for you? What? Well, family sticks together, right? You ask me to do something, I'll do it. Even if it means shaking down people until they fess up they're the one making you upset. Really? Just like that? Well, look. He trailed off briefly, looking off to the side while he processed the thought into words. Do you think you saw me as family? I have a home to come back to? Well, that's the shit I want to earn. You take care of me, I'll take care of you, no questions asked. What if I need you to kill someone, Ty? You should probably question that one. I shot him a smirk and wasn't expecting one back. The only question I'll be asking is where you want the body hidden. I chuckled, flattered and nervous given how uncertain how serious he was being. As I glanced up, I noticed the sun cresting over the trees. Hey, look. I pointed and Ty looked to see the sun rise too. Huh. There was a tone in his voice I didn't know how to place. Was it all? Was it something else? When I pulled my eyes away, I noticed him looking at me. So, what's the plan? The plan? Well, you came out here to decide, right? What do you decide? I don't really know. I think I want to be more proactive about it. I don't really think I know how I'm supposed to be stopping something like this. Well, consider just bailing then. What, and leave everyone behind? Well, I'd tag along. Figure we can rope Dean or Hoss in too, yeah? Yeah. But I think I want to keep everyone safe, no matter what. Well, alright. Just let me know what you need me to do. Ty. I looked him over and he just flashed me a smile. It was enough, and before I knew it I was watching him head back inside. Looking back out to the world, I sighed. Thinking back, I should have told Ty I loved him a long time ago. With what the word meant to people, I was worried it might be taken the wrong way or that I'd scare him off. Boyfriend or brother, I didn't really know what type of love this was. Still, I could rely on him to help me out, and that was good for my morale. Just knowing I wasn't in this alone was something I needed to be reassured of this morning. Even in the worst case scenario, I still trusted Ty. It was quiet. Despite having the chance to talk to someone already, I felt slightly lonely. If it wasn't for the faint hum from the coffee machine brewing, I would have been in complete silence. I wondered if Benson was awake, as I assumed he'd probably come and make breakfast Roswin at some point. Maybe there'd be a chance to talk. A sudden ding from the machine in front of me signalled that it was done. I'd already prepared my mug, the milk, and had the sugar on standby. I considered for a moment omitting the sugar as Tyson crossed my mind. Maybe it's because of the proper association now with him being family that by extension I thought of how his dad took his. Wasting no more time, I poured myself a mug of coffee and sighed out the familiar scent. A sound from behind me made me spin around, leaving my coffee on the counter. Oh, good morning, Master Dave. Oh, good morning. Oh, someone's up early, having trouble sleeping. It's a long story. Well, don't mind me, I just have to fetch breakfast for Master Roswin. I didn't hear you come in, honestly. You're very quiet. Well, I do have my ways. You should be no stranger to secret passages by now. Oh, don't mind me, I'll be gone before long. What even does a guy like Oswin eat for breakfast? I've been wondering what someone with that much money has as their diet. A children's cereal. The blank look I was giving him made him shake his head before he strode over the pantry to pull out a box from near the back. He's a man of simple tastes. If I wasn't around, chances are he'd subsist mostly on his sugar-laden rubbish and instant noodles. Good thing he has you around then, huh? Indeed. It didn't take him long to assemble a tray of food before heading out of the kitchen into the hallway leading to the foyer. I listened as he left, wondering if I could hear another door opening to hint where the passage might be. But nothing. It was my nose that was strong, not my ears. Taking a sip from the coffee, I reinforced my decision to stay up and wait for the others to resurface. Chances were that Sal and Hoss would be up first, followed by Orlando, then Roswell, Dean, then Tyson. Or at least that was my guess. But chances are that everyone is going to want breakfast, right? But maybe Benson was going to sort that out after he tended to Oswin. Still, prepare breakfast. I took another gulp of coffee before nodding to myself. Making lunch wasn't hard, breakfast wouldn't be any different. Besides, it was just another thing I could do to keep them together. There were many options of what to do. I could grab all the things out and just do toast and cereal to keep it basic. A fond smile found its way on my face as I recalled the dream I had. While I couldn't do bacon and eggs, I could do the next best thing. Collecting the ingredients wasn't hard, I knew what to look for. Beyond that, mixing the batter up wasn't hard either. Okay, let's get this underway. I remembered once Orlando kept things warm in the oven, and given how many pancakes I was planning on making, I needed to make sure they stayed that way. Turning it on and putting it at the lowest setting should have been fine. The oven itself had a keep warm setting, so that should have been fine, right? As I cooked off the batter, I just thought of Dad, a goofy smile on my face. Maybe part of it was how I looked forward to doing this with someone I loved one day. By the time I was ready, I headed on into the dining room with the pancakes keeping warm in the oven. Oh, good morning, guys. Good morning, Dave. I've been cooking. Yeah, I figured I'd try making breakfast for everyone. I'm not sure I do, but seeing you in high spirits is nice all the same. Sal, though. I'm fine. I'm just tired still. Not going back to bed or a nap. No, that's more Dean's thing. He has enough trouble sleeping as it is. I'd rather just put up with it for now and make sure I get a decent sleep tonight. Oh yeah, that's the whole keeping your sleeping schedule in check. Is that important? Dave, you'd know this if you didn't nap all the time. But napping is good. We chatted for a while, waiting for the others to arrive. One by one they filed in and sat down. When everyone was seated, I went and retrieved breakfast. I wanted the oven and checked the pancakes I'd left in there. Not burning, so that's a plus. Okay, pancakes are good, and... Suddenly I was hugged from behind, looking down to the arms embracing me. Oh, Ty. Morning, bro. Bro, huh? What happened to calling me pup? What, don't like it? I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to it. Yeah, it's fucking weird, huh? If you're not liking it, I'll just stick to what you're used to. Well, change is always good, right? Oh, maybe. I'm going to pretend you did make me pretty happy last night. I considered telling him then and there. Before I could get the words out, though, Tyson continued. Something I should have come clean about years ago, too. Guess you have bigger balls than I do, huh? That made me snicker as he stepped back and let me retrieve the pancakes from the oven. Well, I don't know. Maybe he'd just been rubbing off on me lately. Or maybe. He held my gaze for a bit, for looking away suddenly, scratching the back of his neck. Alright, I just came in to get coffee. He was off again before he grabbed the coffee pot and went back into the dining room. He wasn't hiding the fact that he was in a hurry, and I made a note to ask him about it later. Shaking my head, I turned back to the oven and pulled the pancakes out, a task I'd set myself before I'd gotten distracted. Assembling the rest of what I needed, I made my way back out into the dining room. When we were all settled, we started to eat. Coffee was had, and while a lot of us seemed tired, there were smiles. Even I wore one, but it was hard to maintain. I wasn't sure I was willing to go through with what I had originally planned. Thinking about it while you're by yourself was one thing. I'd seen all my friends at the table, feeling that I alone was responsible for them keeping them alive. I don't feel so good. Well, what was that, Dave? He said he didn't feel well. Is it nausea? Stress? You've had coffee, so it can't be that. Sal slid over a glass of water to me and I took it eagerly, drinking quickly. Jeez, what's gotten into you? Maybe it's a combination of things. I promise I'll be fine. Fresh air. The moment I stepped outside, I sighed out from relief, doubling over and supporting myself on my knees. I was panicking and I wasn't entirely sure why, but sure enough. The fuck was that? Oh, no kidding. I needed... Oi, Hoss, let me handle this. Come again? I know the brat best, he's family. Family, huh? Well, far be it from me to stand in the way of the duties an older brother must do. Knock it off, you're more than welcome to do it instead. As much as Ty said it, he didn't mean it. It was clear in how he was staring Hoss down. He's just trying to get him to leave instead of hoist responsibility over to him. Oh, no. But if you need me to tag in, just let me know. It's what friends do after all. What? Best of luck. We watched Hoss go back inside while Ty put a hand on my back. You dog, you alright? Yeah, I'm good, just, What, getting yourself worked up for no reason? It's not that, Ty. Seeing everyone at the table, I guess, got me panicking if I could really follow through and be more proactive. On saving everyone, I mean. Look, option is there to bail. We can leave right now. And the others? I told you already, I don't want to leave them behind. And buck up, Dave. I've got your back. If that means I need to drag your ass home kicking and screaming, I will. Thanks. Now, how do you want to handle this thing? I don't think I know. I guess I should start by trying to piece together what I remember seeing and go from there. I'll go have a shower first. What? But we had one last night. And you look tired as fuck still. Go get it done, I'll meet you down here. And you're sure that's fine? Yep, go get yourself sorted and we can take this at your pace. Together. I wandered upstairs and took a shower. Ty was right. It woke me up a little more and I felt somewhat more ready for what was to come. There are a couple of things I needed or thought that might help me keep tabs on things. The first... my notebook. I figured that while I was intending to use this as more of a journal, having things written down might just be a better way to keep my thoughts organised. And hey, if Roswell had a notebook for his thoughts, it can't have been that bad of an idea. Next up, phone, just in case I needed to call someone or use something on it. I guess it could be used as a backup notebook. That's only an option as long as it stays charged. I already let it run out once, so having something like my notebook makes sense to have as my primary method of recording information. When I came back downstairs, what's going on? I'll grab Dean. Okay, but why? Oh, am I not invited? I can go do something else. No, you're staying. Head on outside and we'll meet you out there. Just need to word Dave up on something. Well, alright. Don't be long. Dean wandered off and left through the back door, and Tyson wandered up to me, glancing at the notebook in my hands. So why'd you grab Dean? I thought you liked him. Well, yeah, but I scratched my head, not really sure what I was missing. Not that I didn't welcome Dean's help, but he wasn't the one I was expecting Tyson to ask for him. Honestly, I didn't expect him to ask for help from anyone. What, don't need a wingman suddenly? Oh no, not you, you too, Ty. Well, I can help. You deserve someone who'll take care of you. Show off how smart you are or whatever. I bit my tongue, looking at Ty much in the same way he stared down Hoss before. The last few times I'd even mentioned it, it went over poorly, so at least for now I'd suck it up and focus on what I had to do. Okay. All that response got me was that firm stare back, as if he knew exactly where my mind was at. Still, he said nothing, instead opting to throw an arm over my shoulder, and together we wandered out to meet Dean. Oh, there you are. I was starting to get worried I'd done something. Could you maybe chill? Oh, I'm plenty chill. I just thought after what we'd spoken about. Dean stopped short and I looked between the two of them to see what was up. So, Dave, what's the plan? Huh? Wait, no. What did you two speak about? Nothing. Dean? Nothing. Just guy talk. Oh, we're not here for guy talk. Oi, Dean, you in on what's happening on that? Only a little. Something about helping Dave figure something out, right? Which, depending on what that is, just leave it to me. Just tell him, pup. Well, do you remember a few days ago Ty mentioned I'd seen something in the vault about him dying? That was when we looked for the gun, right? That's right. Sorry about that. Still, the offer is there if you ever want to talk about, well, you know. I grimaced at Dean, shaking my head. I'll be alright. If anything, I think this might help with that. Well, if you say so. Oh, what's first? Well, I want to try and figure out how Tyson died. Wait, really? But... Dean gestured to Tyson, confused. He's right there. Yeah, we know. I mean, I want to try and piece together what might have happened. Well, not to be a killjoy, but how are we going to help you? He's got a point. You got both of us to help, but... Yeah. I clutched my notebook, drumming my fingers against the cover while I thought. Figuring out how Tyson died was going to be tougher than I thought, but... I remember what I saw. There's no way I could forget something like that. My comment hung heavy with all three of us looking down the ground for a bit before I broke the silence. So, Ty? Yeah? Can we go back to, that spot where we fought? Ty led the way and I shot Dean a look. He seemed curious, with a concerned frown on his face as we made our way over the spot where I'd stopped Ty from entering the forest. What did you fight about? Ty looked at me, then at Dean, fumbling over his words. Oh, nothing important. I whined softly, gently tapping my nose out of reflex. It was something I shouldn't have done, as Dean soon turned to me and put a hand on my shoulder. Dave, what did you fight about? Well... Oh, stop. Don't. It was stupid. It was my fault. The fuck do you mean it's your fault? It was. I asked you some questions. You got upset. Why, you think I wanted to rough you up? Dean placed a hand on my chest and another on Ty's while easing us apart, keeping us at arm's length. He turned to Tyson, his tone serious. Okay, that's enough. First of all, if I found out you hurt Dave in any way, there'll be hell to pay. Secondly, while I like the idea I've been asked to help with something, if you two need to squabble about something instead, I can go hang out with someone else. Oh, sorry. I scratched my head, chuckling. I think it'd be best explained as like brothers fighting and roughhousing a little. Brothers? I looked at Ty, and rather than jumping at the concept, his attention seemed drawn elsewhere. Well, aren't I embarrassed? I could have sworn with how well you two get on that you're already boyfriends I'd have been strung along for a while there. Oh God, no, Dean. It's nothing like that at all. Right, Ty? He mumbled something under his breath before looking up and nodding slowly. All right. Well, all right. So lead on, Mr. Detective. Is this the spot we want? Well, looking around didn't immediately tip off that this was the right place to be looking, but it made me remember our fight. It made me remember Ty's threat to enter the forest. I wonder if that's what made it all go down. From what I remember, you were face down on the ground, Ty. Oh, great. So what? A better question. How did he die? What do you remember seeing? He was on the ground with a lot of gashes on his face, and I shuddered, sniffling and opening my notebook to write down things while they were fresh. And stuttering, I tried to get the words out. Seeing Tyson so bloody in my mind's eye, I could feel the tears start to well up. Hey, it's all right. Maybe we should start with that and go through the list. I whined, nodding. Gashes, huh? What could have messed my face up? Well, it wouldn't surprise me if the woods had bears or something like that in here. Reckon you would have pissed one of them off? Fuck off, I'm not messing with a bear. No? Fuck you. But nah, don't let go mess with anything like that. It'd be hard enough to get me to stick around for a second go after getting me in the face once. Wiping my eyes, I thought it over. It made sense and what I remembered about the cuts. What if it was a weapon that did multiple cuts at once? Or claws? Well, that'd fit the bill if it was a bear attack or anything with claws like that, really. Not even a knife. They're knives with multiple thingies. You mean blades? Well, closest thing I can think of that scene is a hand hoe in the greenhouse. I reckon you could do some damage with one of those. How many people do you think have access to it? All of us, really. It's just a gardening tool. I don't think it'd be that anyway. How come? Who the fuck picks a hand hoe as a murder weapon? You've seen the shit in the mansion. Literally anything makes for a better weapon. You got a point there. That doesn't narrow things down, does it? I thought back as to what else could help. There were two things I could think of. Oh right, there are also wounds on your arm. What kind? I'm not too sure. Well, describe them. I'd probably say they look a little like little cuts, maybe bites. Bites? Small ones? Why did I let anything bite me more than once? Hard to say. If you're dead in the memory, then something could have been nibbling on you afterwards. What fits that description? Well, if we're talking things living in the forest, well, that brings us back to a bear again. Think a bear could have done small marks? Oh, what about a fox? No sooner the words were out of Dean's mouth, I had an epiphany. Something I remembered always mentioned from when we had our chat in the library. What about a rabbit? Rabbit? Well, it'd have to be some sort of feral rabbit start biting someone repeatedly. Unless you're that bad at hunting, Tyson. Never hunted before, but I ain't letting something bite me more than once. Besides, if it's a rabbit, I just... Ty made a gesture akin to snapping something in half. Gross, but he had a point. I remembered rabbits to be quite small, and Tyson was strong enough, they seemed like something he could do. Well, what if it was a case of going hungry? I've gone longer than a night without food. If it was a couple of days, sure, I might consider it. Well, I guess we can be thankful there's no reason for us to worry about anyone going hungry, right? Right. Still. Ty looked at me and I understood. He'd been in worse spots before as far as food was concerned. It didn't explain what could have attacked him, though. You were holding a medal? Of course I was. What? You found a medal out in the woods? I guess, or guess I would if this shit is real. Something's bothering me about it, though. Well, the one I remember you seeing was silver, or something like that anyway. Well, that's strange. Aren't the medals we've found so far all, well, I guess you'd call them bronze? They're not silver, trust me, I'd know. How many have we found so far again? Well, Orlando found that one in the maze. Well, they found the one in the pumpkin, plus the one I dug up brings us to 2.5. What? Half a medal? Yeah, I showed it to Dave. Still, that one wasn't silver either, right? Just dirty? Tyson shrugged and Dean started to scratch his head. A silver medal? So is it one of the ones we're looking for? I don't want to really be working in the woods for any medals if I can avoid it. I'm just telling you what I remember seeing. Great, so if we see a silver medal, we know I'm fucked. Ty, not funny. Fine, I'll be careful. So where does that leave us? Fun as it is talking about how I magically died, it's getting old. Well, that's up to Dave, isn't it? I was hoping we'd have someone we could potentially point to as a suspect, right? You want to do an interrogation? Dibs on being the good cop then. Tyson, you can be the bad cop. Suits me fine. But who though? Well, do we have any other clues? When did you see Tyson die? It was 4 days ago, I think. We were out here and he was threatening to walk home. Through the backyard. I had a lot of shit on my mind. I wasn't thinking straight. So, safe to say that if Dave saw you dead, you wandered into the forest and got killed. I whined, and it seemed the thought troubled Ty as well. But then, how'd you explain what I saw? Tyson came back. Well, yeah, but... No, he came back, Dave. Trust me. When you got a big enough family like I do, you see siblings and relatives bicker all the time. Sure, it's only a guess, but... He trailed off. My attention slowly went back to Tyson, who stared at me in shock. Was what Dean said the truth? Would Ty have done that if things had played out differently? It was before I told him about him being family and what happened after. Hey, Dean. What? Give me 5 minutes with Dave alone, and after I want to talk to you about something. About what? Mind your own business. Oh, we're done then. Well, I don't think we're going to get very far just off memories alone, as much as I'm sad to say. Hope I helped. Oh, yeah. It's at least given me stuff to think about. Well, I'll leave you two alone for a bit. Meet me in the greenhouse when you're ready, Tyson. Dean lumbered off towards the greenhouse, leaving Ty and I alone. For a few moments we just stood there, and I wondered if Ty was eating to his 5 minutes on purpose. Ty, if you're only going to be 5 minutes, you might want to start talking, right? Then suddenly he grabbed me in a hug, holding me to his chest. He didn't say anything at first, opting to instead just rest his chin on my shoulder. He's right. Who? Dean? About what? Ty stepped back and looked at me carefully. Well, at the time I was so mad. Probably would have wandered in the forest the rest of the day for feeling like a dumbass and wanted to come apologise. But you rarely apologise to anyone. You're different. But why'd you get so mad? Look, it's not important, alright? It's dumb, I'm dumb, let's just move on, yeah? Please? Okay. I looked over the greenhouse before looking back at Ty, jaw clenched in uncertainty. I wasn't sure how much time we had left before we had to meet Dean. Ty, I know. You do? He breathed in deep, straightening before looking over the greenhouse. I do, so don't worry about saying it. What makes you so sure of what I was going to say? Because... There was no follow-up, leaving me to continue his thought. Because? Just because, nothing more than that. But we should probably talk about tonight. Tonight? What about tonight? Are you helping me with dinner or what? Well, sure, I guess. And after? Dessert? I meant sharing a bed, dumbass. We doing that again tonight? Sure, okay. And actually, don't go changing your mind. If the answer was no, why bother asking? Fine, we'll share a bed. This is the last time for a while. Because? Because. Now I'm going to talk to Dean, so go stay out of trouble. I rolled my eyes and he stepped forward to pat me between my ears. Hope you feeling all better. Come find me later if you want to hang out. Ty wandered off in the direction of the greenhouse and I looked around again. Were there any clues I'd missed? Was there anything more to go off of? I spent the rest of the morning thinking things over and eventually made my way into the dining room. As far as I knew, shy of going into the forest, I was out of clues. We all filed into the dining room before we continued into the kitchen. I don't know why we didn't just take the other corridor, but perhaps we all just intended on making lunch without checking with anyone else. We all made for the kitchen to get started. As everyone moved around me, I figured I'd use the time to record what I had written down while it was still fairly fresh. Tyson died outside, a bunch of marks were on his body. Dean was quick to rule out something from the greenhouse as a weapon, and it seemed to be mostly down to wildlife at that point. That being said, Ty seemed pretty keen on not wanting to mess with animals, so whoever I got him was able to do all those cuts in one go, at least the ones that ran next to each other. If him leaving meant he was going to show up later that day or even the day after, he probably wouldn't be desperate enough to try hunting. Besides, like Dean said, he'd come back, which leaves us with who is a suspect. I looked at everyone carefully in the room. Was one of them a potential killer? Who would kill Ty? Disliking him was one thing, but taking it to the point of killing him? While I was writing down the notes in my notebook, though, something occurred to me. Something I remember that seemed off. Hey, Sal. Yes? He wandered over from talking to Roswell about something to stand in front of me, looking confused. Is something the matter? Well, I looked quickly to Hoss, who seemed distracted, and a couple of others before gesturing for Sal to follow. I don't understand. What's wrong? It'll be quick, honest. Are you in trouble? Am I in trouble? No, nothing like that. I was just wondering if... So a couple of nights ago, you were in the conservatory, right? What? Not that I know of. Wait, what? But you were there. Maybe at some point during the day? No, I'm talking like middle of the night. You were kind of standing there just all... How would I explain it? I rolled my wrists trying to find the words. I didn't leave my room. Once I went to my room for the night, I just went to bed. But that's impossible. I saw you there. It didn't seem as though Sal was believing me. He just scratched his head. I know I saw him there. After all, I was on edge after talking to Oswin as it was. What if I show you? The conservatory. Right, then you'll maybe remember? Sal didn't seem overly pleased with the prospect, but didn't object to the notion, so we headed upstairs. As soon as we entered, my eyes went to the bookcase, remembering the reason I'd come in here that night. As for Sal... What's the matter? He wandered around the room before stopping in place before the bookcase, looking at it. There's something about this right here feels familiar. Right, that's where you were standing when I saw you the other night. But I was in bed, sleeping. What makes you so sure, though, Sal? I took sleeping medication. I got it from Dean. And honestly, it's not the first time I've taken it. It normally works pretty quick. Really? He began to fidget on the spot before sighing out. I haven't been sleeping well since we arrived. Started with Orlando fretting and being excited the day before we arrived. Then him confessing, you worrying about Benson. That was my turn to fidget, feeling like I was keeping Sal from sleeping soundly. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's been rough beyond that. Would you believe that I found an axe in my room? An axe? In my bed, yes. You found an axe in your bed? I was yelling and Sal stepped forward to put one of his hands over my mouth to muffle me. Yes, a little under a week ago. I hid it under my bed waking up next to an axe was worrying enough. And it's still there? Yes, I believe so. I was planning on returning to the greenhouse later today. But who puts an axe in someone's bed? Unless you did it. Sal seemed to think about it for a while before replying, scratching his chin. It might have been me. The more I think about it, the more I wonder if what I've been dreaming about haven't been just dreams after all. What have you been dreaming about? Random things. I remember being in the library at one point. Nothing beyond that, just looking around. There was another time I remember seeing Orlando. The whole experience was like I was underwater, blurry and distorted. The library. I looked back at the bookcase before turning back to Sal. Is that why you're in here, to go to the library? He shrugged, leaving me to wonder. Was Sal the culprit? Sal, did anything happen in particular that day when you were in the library? Not that I know of. We went to the hedge maze, had that argument with Dean. Wait, hold on, you went to the library back then? I thought you meant like a couple of nights ago. Only thing that happened a couple of days ago was... we had that sleepover, Benson was found alive, and that's all. I don't think I did all that much given how tired I was. I ended up taking some more medication. I frowned, wondering, was this a pattern? Did it mean anything, or was I just still hyped up for investigating earlier? Was that all you wanted to know? Something still wasn't adding up, and I figured I'd lay it out on the table for Sal. I knew he didn't, but I knew he was in the conservatory that night. It's not making sense, Sal. I know for certain you were in this room a couple nights ago. And why were you in this room to confirm that? To go to the library? But... Sal pointed to the door, looking away for a moment before returning to look at me. The library is over that way. You can't get there from here. But what about... I gestured to the bookcase. All he seemed to get was a confused look from Sal and a slight tilting of his head. He didn't know. Okay. I'm sorry I can't be more help. I just don't know what else I can offer you. Maybe Hoss would know more? Why Hoss? I remember having a talk with him at some point. I don't quite remember when, but... I stopped listening. Hoss was now starting to get suspicious again. First the library, then what was he doing this morning, now this? I guess I don't have much of a choice, do I? If it helps, I can make myself available if you need to ask me more questions. This seems to be bothering you still. He placed a hand on my shoulder when we left the room. I didn't feel like I got very far. We headed downstairs and back outside with Sal heading off in the direction of the pool. Come on, Dave, think. I found myself thinking again outside. What would Dad do? What would the next step be? Was there a pattern in the words that worked so far? Oswin said that this thing worked on trauma, so would it just be better if I let Orlando pick the words? He seemed to worry about most things. Sal thought that maybe Hoss would know something. Given he knew about the library, it was possible he could have known Sal was there too. Roswell? Would Roswell know anything about what happened? He was smart. Dean gave Sal the medication, so maybe that was an avenue to consider as well. The other option was that I was worried needlessly over something that wasn't going to happen again. There was no proof, no motive as far as I could tell, and I was possibly wise finding this difficult. As I turned around, Master Dave. Oh, Benson. Hello. You look troubled. More so than usual. Whatever is the matter? I decided I'd try and piece together what the next danger would be, getting the vault to work again. Quite a task you've set for yourself. How is that going thus far? Well, I don't really have anything solid to go off. At the moment it's just Sal, I suppose. Your crocodile friend, what about him? When I left the library after talking to Oswin, he was in the conservatory, just kind of standing there. He doesn't remember doing that. Does he sleepwalk, perhaps? I used to do so when I was younger. Sleepwalking? Indeed, perhaps he sleepwalks and just decided to take a stroll. Or indeed he has more of a skill for acting than Master Hoss. I doubt that. At the very least he didn't know about the bookcase entry, unless he's lying. Perhaps, Master Dave, perhaps. What should I do? Do you think I'm worrying for no reason? Oh, not at all. Master Oswin expressed worry himself this morning. You're not the only one wondering what the next event will entail. But there will be one. Consider it an old sense reigniting, the familiar scent of murderous intent on the air, if you will. Not that it's anything remotely tangible, my boy, just an inkling this old otter has. Should I have a gun, a weapon, anything like that? Unless you wish to get accused of being the assailant, I would advise against it. The best I can do is state that I have no intention of harming any of you without express instruction from Master Oswin. Well, that's something at least. However... What? Benson stroked his moustache, seemingly thinking something over. It is probably nothing. But I would potentially want to address that first. The prospect of a puppet is a dangerous one. A puppet? You don't mean... It is unlikely that anyone could use your crocodile friend to kill, but with a little creativity, that's still one problem that's worth addressing lest you wish for a massacre. I gulped at the prospect. If he was describing it as a massacre, what did he expect could happen? A big man such as himself would be a force in his own right, and putting him down would be somewhat of a challenge without being considerably armed. What do you suggest? Well, talking to him for a start, Master Dave. Where is he now? Rather than tell him, I wandered over the pool and Benson followed. Sure enough, Sal was sitting by the pool with his eyes looking at the water. Sal? He grunted in response, doing a double take when he realised that I wasn't alone. He scrambled to his feet as he noticed Benson, giving him a brief bow. I'll be plain, Master Sal. Do you experience sleepwalking? Sleepwalking? Not that I know of. Fascinating. Why is that fascinating, Benson? If he does, then he is flagrantly unaware of it. But this might be of benefit to you. What is this about? Remember what we were talking about upstairs, Sal? Benson had an idea. Oh, pay me no mind. Consider it just an act of passing down wisdom. However, I do have another question, although it is quite bold of me to ask this directly. What is it? Benson seemed to wait only a moment before asking his question, and he asked it bluntly. Have you ever killed someone, Master Sal? Sal's face paled and he took a step back. Or perhaps just thought about it? To be perfectly honest, even if the predisposition is there is all I'm after. Benson, you can't go asking that. Have I overstepped a line? I meant no disrespect. After all, it's been... Yes, I have. The comment was muttered, but I could still make it out. It was an accident, but yes. And perhaps we're in the clear then. As far as taking a life is concerned, an accident doesn't constitute enough of a risk. Should I be worried? Oh, Benson wondered if he was sleepwalking because... Actually, why were you wondering about that? Allow me to explain. Someone that can be hypnotized and those that are prone to sleepwalking have some level of suggestibility. The things you can convince someone to do or think when they're in this state is... Put simply, it's a means of rewiring the brain. Forgive the simplicity with how I say this, but convincing someone to potentially kill another is possible if the right conditions are met. What conditions? A predisposition to the action you're suggesting to them. In this case, requesting the person currently hypnotized to kill another requires they have some inner desire to end another's life. What about that creativity you mentioned before? That. Consider it a loophole. One could still get the person in the trance to kill if they frame their suggestion in a different way. Say perhaps handing them a vial of poison and asking them to administer a dear friend some medicine or season a pot of food. They would be unknowing what they truly held, but be under the impression they were doing something innocent. But that's terrifying. Indeed, but while the potential is there, the likelihood of all this happening is very low. Have a decent sleep and you'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Alright, I think I can do that. Now, if you excuse me, gentlemen, and Master Dave, should you need anything else, I'll be around. Once Sal and I were alone, he sighed out, rubbing the back of his head. Well, that... I'm sorry, I thought that maybe having a second opinion might help. You're that worried? Yeah. After all, what if the worst case scenario happens? She's already dead, so... He trailed off there, making me tilt my head. Who? It doesn't matter. Just... someone important to me. He sighed, sitting back down and dipping his feet into the water. I'm sorry, but... can I be alone for a bit? Oh. Please, just... we can talk more later. I headed back inside, leaving Sal by the pool. Something seemed to be bothering him, but I didn't feel close enough to him to really ask anything more. Under any of the circumstances, I would have tried to stay and keep him company, but I had enough worries going on. I threw my notebook down on the bed and collapsed next to it. That good, huh? Ty, what are you groaning for? Just stuff. I don't think I've gotten very far. Wow, shit, sorry to hear that. How did you talk with Dingo this morning? Oh, fine. And you talked about guy stuff. Like, none of your business, doesn't concern you. What if I go ask Dean? He won't tell you either, I told you not to tell you. But why? Were you talking about me? No, I just knew you'd ask me. You're a brat that wants to know what's going on. But what's wrong with that? Just let me have my secrets. I don't have to tell you everything. Fine. Ty came over to the bed, kicking the door to the bedroom closed behind him. Not worried, huh? What if someone dies, Ty? What if you die? What about if you die? That won't happen. No shit, it won't happen. I won't let it. Finally, just relax a bit. You're looking out for everyone. They're looking out for you. It'll be fine. Okay, but... you think it's going to be a fucking slaughter just because you've got to check in with someone? Well, no, but... and stop stressing about it. You're stressing me out just watching. We can't do shit. Just take a nap or something. I don't think I want to sleep just yet. That's a first. What, you hoping I'm going to offer to cuddle with you first? No, I'm just not tired. I have too much on my mind. And you're on the bed anyway. It's comfy. Ty sighed out and sat down next to me before falling onto his back. I turned my head to the side to watch him. His expression didn't seem to shift. Hey. What? You scare me sometimes, you know that? I'm not that scary. That's... you know what? Sure, you're right. We lay there in silence for a bit longer before I spoke up again. You still need help with dinner? Probably not. You can help if you want anyway. I think I like that. And after? Sharing a bed, right. Tyson just nodded and put his hands on his chest, staring at the ceiling. Do you think it'd help if we what? You know. No. Fucked? Oh, well. I chuckled, looking away for a second before letting my eyes sit on Tyson again. He hadn't moved from staring at the ceiling, but the fact he hadn't cracked a smile meant he was serious. Really? Yeah. I don't know, Just putting the offer out there. We're sharing a bed, so... Wait, you meant right now? Oh, later. Why? Don't tell me you're horning up now. I mean, you started it, though. Like, what about kissing? Isn't that what you do before you know... Ty sat up, scratched his neck and moved to rub his face. Not always. What do you mean? Oh, nothing. Just don't worry about it. Look, you want to hang for a bit or do you want to be left alone? Still got time for I need to get dinner going. Stay with me? Doing what? Anything. Just don't leave right now, Ty. You're such a pain. Let's go watch a movie. If you're lucky, I'll give you a brushing too. I didn't end up getting that brushing. I did spend the better part of the afternoon tucked underneath Ty's arms. We watched a movie. Ty and I wandered downstairs when it was time to cook, and we sized up the kitchen together. Okay, so burgers. Yep. Do you know how to make burgers? Well, yeah, we just meat, pan, sizzle, hooray, burger. Alright, cool. So, grab me an onion. I'll get to work putting this stuff together so we can get cooking. Kinda wish there was an outdoor grill, though. What, like back home? Oh, I don't think beats a good barbecue. It's been a while since... Anyway, I guess it's been a while. Maybe when you get back? What? Like, let's have a welcome home barbecue when you're back from the trip. You know, we could do burgers and hot dogs and just... I don't know, we can make a thing of it. You know, yeah, let's do it. Be another reason to come home too, huh? Yeah, plus it means I can practice you're not the one using the grill all the time. Oh, better when you're a housewife. I'll have you know it's the man's job to do the barbecue. Oh, you're going to make me cook after I get back from my trip. Yeah, lucky your family, otherwise I'll be asking for something as payment. I did a double take. Huff and his tie laughed it off, shaking his head. The briefest moments I thought he'd meant something else, but maybe that's exactly what he wanted in order to rile me up. When dinner was done and we were all seated, we dug in. Earlier in the day, seeing all my friends like this gave me a great deal of stress. Having taken things into my own hands, I felt better about things somehow. Perhaps it was just after trying to figure things out it seemed less impossible. There was one final test though, and that's where I headed after dinner. Okay, so let's see. I had my notebook in hand and flipped through the pages as I stood in front of the keypad. Almost a week ago, Roswell and I were right here trying to piece together something. He tried a whole bunch of words, but nothing. I reached over and typed in each of our names. Nothing. Then tried the old passwords again to see if there any change, and again, they weren't what I was after. So what do I know about the vault? Sometimes talking out loud helped, getting all of your thoughts in one place and just laying everything out. No one else was down here as far as I could tell, and I even closed the door to the room I was standing in. Oswin said the vault worked through trauma. That's right. The vault brings up memories of traumatic events, apparently. Stuff that I'd apparently survived through. That might narrow down the list of things this could be then, but still. Looking at my notebook, I went through everything that had happened so far today. Not really much in the way of solid leads or even anything remotely coming to mind as far as to who was behind it, except for one thing. What if it's Benson? He knows about what was going on in the inner workings of the house, knew all the secret passageways. Not only that, he can easily arm any of us. He can arm himself and do just as much damage, right? If that was the case, why not just come into our rooms at night and just do it then? The rooms were soundproofed at least a little bit. I shook my head. It wasn't enough to go off with just that alone. I needed something more. Maybe if I think about what the other passwords had in common, which would then mean... Is there a pattern? There had to be, but what? Was it the cause of death? Was it the type of word? So I strained to think about any common thread to predict the next one. Maybe the pattern was a little too obscure for me to be figuring out with what I had so far. Staring at the keypad wasn't helping. I had to put something in to at least get me started. What was the worst thing I could think of? What was the worst that could happen? Breathing in deep, I reached out to input something. I've been through it a couple of times before. The moment I heard the chime, I braced for the worst. Maybe bracing for it was the worst thing I could have done as the sharp pain coursed through my head. As it flashed in front of my eyes, I gulped. There it was. I didn't want to have succeeded in finding the password, but the fact I did felt bittersweet. It was Sal, somehow. Sleepwalking maybe, but I knew where I needed to go next. I came to on the floor of the vault. My head was spinning as if I'd just been thrown about the room for a few minutes. How long had I been out for? How long had it been? Was it too late to intervene? Scrambling to my feet, I tore out of the room and headed upstairs in search of Sal. Sal! Called out into the foyer. I hoped he'd hear, or anyone would hear for that matter. It echoed off the walls, but no response. Was it too late? Grabbing my phone in my pocket, I checked the time. It wasn't too late in the evening. If what I'd seen was any indication, there was still time before. Sal, where are you? Do I want to know why you shouted in the middle of the foyer? Hoss, where's Sal? Hold up there, Dave. Why do you want to know? He's going to kill someone. Excuse me? The vault, have you seen him or not? Upstairs, I think, with Dean. I turned away from Hoss and bolted upstairs, continued to call out for Sal. Sal! What? I looked to what he held in his hand, a small container of medicine. It's you. What's him? In the vault, I saw you. What are you doing right now? Okay, so I think you should stop yelling, then. I whined, shuffling anxiously on the spot while Dean placed a hand on my shoulder. Now, what happened? Massacre. Sal's going to... I replayed the events of the day in my head, thinking back to everything I'd learned with my eyes setting on the medicine in Sal's hand. What's that, Sal? Medicine? Sleeping medication, yes. Well, technically it's mine, but I don't know. Sal sometimes asks for it to help him sleep. But why? After everything that we talked about today, I wouldn't mind just getting some decent sleep. What if taking the medicine makes it worse? Well, I would make taking medicine make things worse. What kind of medicine is it again, Dean? Well, they're tranquilizers. Oh, I think I see the problem. The three of us were left in silence with Sal's grip on the medicine tightening slightly. Sal? With a sigh, he pushed the container back to Dean, shaking his head. What do I do? I only wanted. Dean and I looked at one another uncertain. I'm sorry, I just wanted to. Sal shuddered and I wondered if he was crying despite seeing no tears. Hey, it's alright, Sal. You'll be okay. I can't really say I know what's going on, but... I'm sorry, it's my fault. I don't know. I guess I just didn't want anything like Benson to happen. Well, at the very least bringing it up is a better thing than just bottling it up. Still, if you saw a thing then... Well, I guess we can, Dave? Yeah? I'm sorry if you thought I... He shuddered and lumbered past me almost in a daze. Oh, Sal, come back. Dean, I... Save it. You meant well, right? Of course. Well, I trust that at least. Just let me deal with Sal and hopefully things will be alright in the morning. Dean stepped in and gave me a quick hug. Good night, Dave. I watched as Dean left, unsure if I'd done the right thing after all. On one hand, I wasn't sure if this was a case of me having stopped what I saw happening, or if my intervention just ensured it was going to happen. Still, I did all I could do. Would Dad have been proud? I wanted to feel proud, but something was nagging at me that I'd done something bad. Maybe this was just the cost of trying to keep everyone alive. I made my way to my bedroom and ran my hands through my fur. I was tired and at a loss as to how I was feeling. Had I done the right thing by Sal? By everyone? The longer I stood before my bed, the more I felt that I'd done something bad. Either way, I was exhausted. So... Ty. What's got you so jumpy? I'm just tired, that's all. And get your ass into bed. I will. Hold up, what's with the face? What face? You look like you got busted doing something you didn't. What'd you do? I grumbled, sitting down on the bed while Ty closed the door to the bedroom behind him and coming over to join me. I got the vault to work again. I sort of wish I didn't. No shit, what'd you see? Sal killing... Damn, so you... I went and confronted Sal about it, yeah. He didn't take it well, but Dean's looking out for him now. What, you went up and told him not to kill anyone? How do you expect that to go? Better than how it did. I guess I got caught up in the moment of just trying to stop what I saw from happening that'll probably be fine in the morning. Just say you're sorry, give the lug a cuddle or something, it'll be fine. Do you think that's all it'll take? Fuck if I know. Not much you can do about it now, though. Yeah, I guess you're right. For real, though, you okay? I guess just tired now. Can we just, sleep? Ty sighed out, shaking his head. You're hopeless, but yeah, just sleeping is fine. Even if you wanted to, Dude, don't worry about it. There'll be other chances, maybe. I don't know. Ty got up to switch off the light before heading over the other side of the bed and getting in. Is it alright if I just find it, a little scary? Dave, get in the damn bed and get some sleep. You're overthinking things. Okay, you're right. Sorry. I stripped down to my underwear and got into bed next to Ty. Neither of us moved at first before Ty slid an arm under my head and pulled me to him, making his chest a makeshift pillow. It was usually the other way around, but the steady thumping of his heart put me at ease. So he yawned against him, he gently rubbed my arm until I was out like a light. To be continued.